Today's topic is mindfulness and muraqabah. Mindfulness, as you are aware of, that became a very trendy topic among people. And I was wondering that if we have an equivalent term for that or equivalent practice of mindfulness in Islamic history. While I was doing my search, actually, it came up muraqabah, and I saw the muraqabah as so rich and encompassing mindfulness. It has much more richness than mindfulness. So in today's world, our lives are too busy and our interests are everywhere. We are interested like in cars, we are interested in books, or we are working. We are at the same time mother taking care of children, and there are many subtopics about raising children. And also we have our phones, scrolling down all the information, scrolling down the social media, learning many information. So our minds are quite busy and occupied. So this occupation and this business of the mind actually is stealing our attention or focus on very important things, like such as praying. While praying, our mind is somewhere else. Our mind is might be like, okay, what am I gonna cook today, or what kind of things I experienced today at work, or what did I do today. Okay, this person told me that like it hurted me. So while I was praying, my attention is not on Allah on this praying. My attention is on elsewhere. So even though sometimes in the praying I'm not realizing what I'm saying, what I'm reading, or which surah I'm at, or what praying I'm doing to Allah, what do I want from Allah. And not just on prayers, we are scrolling down social media for hours, but when it comes to reading Quran, like at least one page or two pages, we think that we don't have time. Or we are working, coming home, and there's just 2 or 3 hours left to spend my time with children at that day because they're gonna go sleep. I'm gonna go sleep. So during these 2 3 hours, I'm spending my time on my phone. I'm just maybe not responding my children's requests or playing requests. I'm directly saying, no, I'm tired, I'm not gonna do that. So my attention is not with them, even though you can see like people or fathers or mothers are playing with their children. However, their mind is elsewhere, and the children are realizing that they are not with them. So there's this question, how I can direct my focus, how I can be much more focused on my prayers, on the time that I spend with my children, or on myself, or how I can build meaningful relationship, or how I can control my actions, how I can control my thoughts so I don't commit sin. So all these questions, actually, I realize that lying a bit under the muraqabah. We should practice muraqabah to be able to much more focused attention, to be able to much more collect our thoughts or think about before committing sin. So before going to topic of mindfulness, going to topic of muraqabah, we should learn what the mindfulness is. So this is gonna take us to the muraqabah, and we are gonna understand muraqabah better. So mindfulness is a mental state of self-awareness achieved by focusing on the present. You need to be in this moment and in here to be able to achieve mindfulness. So if my brain is not here, my mind is not here, I'm thinking somewhere else while speaking with you, then I'm not present. I'm not achieving the mindfulness. Or if I'm thinking the past or the future while praying, then my mind is not in the prayer. My presence is not in the prayer. So normally the human tendency is to react to thoughts and emotions in a knee-jerk fashion. Let them lead the way. So our emotions comes to us, right? We are experiencing many emotions during the day, and many thoughts are coming to our minds. We are saying no or yes to these emotions or thoughts. So if we don't think about this emotion and thoughts that comes to our mind, we are going to act in a knee-jerk fashion. We are going to act on it. It might be a sinful thought. It might be a negative emotions. For example, you got so mad to someone else at the job, and you're so angry. The emotions is anger coming to you. And this anger, what's it suggesting? Just go and hit this person, or go scream, or say bad words, or in a passive way, go and gossip about this person to another person in your workplace. So all these thoughts are normal. They are coming to my mind. It doesn't show us our faith is weak, or iman is weak. It just shows us we are human being. All these thoughts can come and go. Alhamdulillah, we are not responsible from our thoughts, but we are responsible from our reactions. If I don't think about this anger emotion that much, if I don't think before acting, right? So this anger emotion can lead me during that moment, which I'm gonna regret. I can do the acts, which I'm gonna regret later. So mindfulness is actually taking you, having you in control. So when this anger emotion comes to you, you need to stop a bit and think about it. What is it suggesting to me? So what my nafs, this anger emotion is suggesting to my nafs amara. Should I do it, or what am I gonna do? Is a sin or not? Should I act on it? If I stop and if I don't do a knee-jerk fashion act, it's gonna protect me from committing sin. So basically, mindfulness is the ability to choose to follow or not follow your thoughts and desires, and the control actions. So for example, like my desire, maybe watch some websites that can be seen, and this is my thoughts, this is my emotions, I want to do it. However, I'm focusing on my thought, I'm focusing on my attention, and I'm trying to figure out where it is going to lead me, if it is going to be sin or not. And if it is going to be sin, I'm stopping myself. So basically, mindfulness is, as I said, to control, to follow your thoughts, follow or not follow your thoughts and desires, to control your actions. So there are many researches about mindfulness that comes from Harvard, like other famous university that you might know. Mindfulness is decreasing stress, emotional reactivity, depression, and anxiety, and improving memory, focus, concentration, personal relationship, empathy, and compassion. So, according to mindfulness, there is no sin of emotion. Emotions are not sin. They can be negative emotions or positive emotions, and they might have the possibility that might lead you to commit sin. However, all emotions are, sinless. Like they're coming to your mind, and what makes them to be sinful or to have sin is committing on it by using our willpower. So whenever those kind of like negative emotions that we think, let's say sinful emotions, comes to our mind, we should stop and reflect on it. And we should thought and know it's not about my faith is getting weak or getting decreasing. It is about that, like, you're a human being, you might have all these emotions, but the important part is how are you gonna do an action on it? How are you gonna act on it? This is the important part. And mindfulness actually giving you this chance to watch your emotions, think about that, where they can lead you, and act according to your thoughts. So you are going to realize your willpower during the mindfulness to follow or not follow your thoughts, and it's going to give this strength to control your actions. So the mindfulness in Islamic context, actually, muraqaba, of course, it is not equal to it, because as I said at the beginning of this video, muraqaba is much more encompassing of mindfulness. So muraqaba is complete state of vigilant self-awareness in one's relationship with Allah in heart, mind, and body. Complete state of vigilant self-awareness. So, muraqaba, the state of muraqaba, the understanding of muraqaba, actually, that like in mindfulness, you are you are trying to find a quiet place, sitting there, just not judging your emotions and closing your eyes and getting an anchor, like in some traditions it is just sound, or in some traditions they're just ringing a bell. Like you are anchoring yourself with this ringing a bell or this sound, and you're just watching your emotions. You're not judging them. Like those emotions are like train passing through you. You are just watching them and realizing and naming your emotions to be able to know and recognize which states are you in. However, in muraqabah, we can put all these rules in it, like yes, I'm watching my emotions, like a train is passing in front of my eyes. I'm not judging them. I'm not thinking why I'm thinking that, why it is this, why this is there, or why this is not there. I'm watching them, but also I know that Allah Jalla Jalal is watching me at all times, inwardly and outwardly. Allah Jalla Jalal sees my actions and my thoughts, what passes in my heart, my thoughts, my emotions, whatever they are. All I am seen by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. So muraqabah is adding this to you. So what is the result of muraqabah? Like muraqabah is going to give you a state of tranquil, calm, and contentment. And the akhirah, inshallah, state of eternal calm and joy in paradise. Because muraqabah is gonna bring you this awareness that which Allah Jalla Jalaluhu sees you all the time. So actually, we were ordered by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu ordered us to do this, to have muraqabah, to be mindful. Like in Quran, at the chapter of Baqarah, 235th verse, remember that God knows what is in your souls. So be mindful of Him. So think about that. You are being watched by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. You are going to be much more careful on your actions, right? Because somebody is watching you, looking at you, and you are going to be much more careful about your heart, your thoughts, when these negative emotions or the emotions that have the potential to lead you to commit a sin, when they come to them, even though they are there, and Allah knows that. So no need to try to cover it, or not make them not let Allah Jalla Jalaluhu see them, because He already knows what is in your mind, because He is close to you, more closer to you than your jugular vein here, right? So Allah Jalla Jalaluhu knows all of them, but Allah Jalla is watching how we are gonna act on them. So this is the most important part in muraqabah. So muraqabah is so related with ihsan, right? Spiritual excellence. What does ihsan means? As you know that the Gabriel, Jibreel, when he came to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he asked what is ihsan, and then Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that is to worship Allah as if you see Him. If you don't see Him, He certainly sees you. So ihsan means that we are seen by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu all the time, and we should act according to it. So actually, muraqabah is the realization of the supreme character trait, spiritual excellence, al-ihsan. Ihsan is the essence of faith by perfecting presence with Allah Jalla Jalaluhu and mindfulness of Him, muraqabatihi. So there are 4 aspects of muraqabah actually, like to be able to do muraqabah in an excellent way. There's 4 aspects, and we need to be aware of that. Like the first one, the knowledge of Allah Almighty. So to be able to protect myself and to be able to understand that what Allah Jalla Jalaluhu watches me, or how He watches me, who watches me, I need to know the knowledge of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. I need to know Him, who is Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. And the Quran and Hadiths are listing who is Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. So I need to know all this information. I need to know my Lord, my Rabb, right? This is the first information. And the second one, the knowledge of the enemy of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, the Satan, Iblis. So as we know that Satan is a professional cheater, like can come and try to cheat you in any way you might think or you might not think of. And there is no holiday for Satan, right? He is on work 7 days, 24 hours. So I need to know who Satan is, and also I need to know that how he can, deceive me, how he can deviate me from my path, truth path. So this means that bringing this is gonna bring us this like to be able to know the Satan very well. I need to know myself very well. I need to know now which hole the Satan can enter and deviate me from the path of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, and which hole it can enter in my soul and whisper me, and whisper me to commit sin. So I need to know myself. What is my weak points? What is my strong points? What is my weak sides? I need to be very well aware of that. And the third one, knowledge of the soul's capacity to suggest evil. So our souls have this capacity to suggest evil. So yesterday I was talking with one of my patients, and we spoke about that, like the devil human beings on the earth, like in the history, and also good peoples in the history. And the conversation was like that. I told this person that like we have all this capacity in us, right? Allah put all this capacity in us. We can be very devil person and we can be very good person. So it's gonna depend on that which side we are gonna fit, right? So the soul has this capacity to go negative way or positive way. So we need to be aware of that. Like we can go both ways, and we're going to use our willpower in this position. And the fourth one, knowledge of deeds to be done for the sake of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. After knowing Allah Jalla Jalaluhu and knowing the Iblis and then knowing your soul's capacity, we need to know what we were supposed to do here, what we are supposed to do as a good deed. So what are those? How can I react on them? So we need to be able to really have this knowledge to be able to apply muraqabah in our daily lives. So when we compare mindfulness and Islamic meditation, muraqabah, which is Islamic meditation, is actually in mindfulness, the purpose is mental strength and well-being. So these people try to understand their emotion, label their emotion, what do they feel during that moment, and gain the strength of their well-being. However, in muraqabah, the purpose is mental and spiritual strength and well-being. So we are adding spiritual strength, the relationship with our faith, the relationship with Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. So in mindfulness, the focus is actually on awareness of one's own heart and mind. However, in muraqabah, the focus is on a holistic Islamic framework of Islamic mindfulness. So muraqabah actually includes two states. One is silence, the second one seclusion. And the silence and seclusion is going to bring you presence. So what do we mean with silence? The Prophet ﷺ said in one of his hadiths, you must have good character and observe long periods of silence. By the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad ﷺ, no one can behave with deeds more beloved to Allah than these two. So a Muslim should have good character and observe long periods of silence. But however, right now, speaking, giving talks, speeches are much more plausible than being in silence, right? However, to be able to hear our soul's sayings, to be able to recognize our emotions, label our emotions, to be able to control our actions, which is gonna pass through control our emotions or thoughts, actually involves silence. For example, let's go with the angry example. I got mad, I'm gonna say something bad, which maybe Allah Jalla Jalaluhu might not be pleased. So I need to stop speaking there, to be in silence, give myself time. And the second part, seclusion, as I said, silence and seclusion is going to lead us to the presence, to be in the moment. Seclusion is, Al-Minawi explains that, explaining a hadith, those in seclusion are those who seek solitude and withdraw from the people to be alone and free to worship, as if one sets himself apart to be devoted to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. So sometimes we need this seclusion to be away of people, to be able to hear what our soul's saying, what is our thoughts, to collect our thoughts, put them in order, or how am I spending my time, my life. Like we come here with a goal. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu said, I created jinn and human beings just to worship me. This is the center of my life. So to be able to understand that, we need to think of them, and we need silence and seclusion. And this silence and seclusion is going to take us to the presence, the silence of one's innermost being, a silent reflection to abandon preoccupation with the past and future. So I shouldn't think the past and future, right? I need to be in the moment with silence and seclusion, being away of the people. As you know that the old people, saints, people who, the Islamic scholars who lived in the past, they have their seclusion areas. Like it's in Turkish called çilehane. So they sometimes spend their times to there, to be able to recognize what their soul is saying, how their life is going, to be able to make a prayer, and those are bringing them to the presence. So Imam Al-Ghazali's 4 daily spiritual mindfulness practice, muraqabah practice, was that. Let's go over it. Like one is supplication. The Imam Ghazali starts his muraqabah with supplication, with dua, with praying. And the second one, zikr. Like which zikr you would like to do most. You can have this zikr during that moment. And then reading Quran recitation. And the fourth one, doing the fikr, contemplation. So supplication, remembrance, Quranic recitation, and contemplation is the daily spiritual mindfulness, let's call muraqabah of Imam Ghazali. So to be able to be a more mindful Muslim, like we need to be aware of the different stages of thoughts, right? So as we said, that thought, feelings, emotions comes in any way to us. So and then after those emotions come, there's a reaction time, right? We are acting on these emotions. So to be able to control our actions, to be a much more mindful Muslim, or to be a Muslim who does muraqabah, we need to give us a time between these thoughts and reaction. So this time actually is gonna help us to ponder over these emotions and think about the action, if we want to do this action or not, if I do it, if it would be a sin or not, or what's going to be the consequences of this action. So when we have this time, our reactions is going to be much more close to pleasing Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, and it's going to be away of the mistakes. So what should of course there are many information about that mindfulness and muraqabah, but I'm not going all the details of them. So to be able to do a muraqabah exercise, what should we do? The practice side of it, like maybe we can choose a time of day, like it could be the morning times if you have children or many responsibilities during the day, or it can be in evening time after Isha. It could be like if you have time those moments, it could be even 10 minutes, like 15 minutes. If you don't have time if you don't have hours to do that, let's just spare yourself 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then find a spot in your house, a quiet, secluded place, like masjids most also can be used for this purpose. If you can find a place or spot, find a quiet, secluded places. And it could be like your bedroom, or a part of your living room, and sit in a comfortable posture. And then focus on your breath. Relax all your muscles like arms, legs, core, and jaw. Settle your state of heart and mind by feeling the life and energy Allah gave you throughout your body. Focus on your body. Think about Allah Jalla Jalalu's energy, the quwwat, strength to you to do your daily chores, daily responsibilities. And think about that and feel that Allah Jalla Jalalu is watching you. How I do that? The Quran, 57th chapter, 4th verse, it says that He is with you wherever you are. Allah Jalla Jalalu is with you wherever you are. Maybe we can memorize this verse to say to ourselves while doing muraqabah. And then silence your inner dialogue. Stop judging yourself. Okay, why these thoughts coming to my mind? Oh, I'm a bad person, I'm a good person, like why I'm acted in that way, I'm a good Muslim or not. Just stop all this inner dialogue speaking to yourself. Focus on being with Allah Jalla Jalla in present moment. Focus on being with Allah Jalla Jalla that loves you most, that loves you more than your parents, that helps you anyway, that listens to you anyway, that know you from inside to outside. So this is the steps that we can apply doing the muraqabah. So you are gonna start to sense this, perceiving the feeling of muraqabah, being with God. As we know, it's said that Allah loves us so much, and we should spend time with Him, right? By giving a special time to Allah Jalla Jalalu. Prophet ﷺ says that, verily at times there is fog over my heart, so I seek the forgiveness of Allah 100 times in a day. And when distracted to recite the remembrance of Allah Jalla Jalalu, for example, while doing the seclusion, you are distracted, like the past and future thoughts came to your mind. So you can use a zikr in your tongue. You can say this zikr repeatedly as an anchor to help you to focus more. For example, you can say Astaghfirullah, 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 or you can say Subhanallah, La ilaha illallah, one of the names of Allah Jalla Jalalu. So zikr is a calming anchor that returns you to a state of muraqabah. So ta'amul, like in muraqabah, is repeatedly bringing yourself back into the state of muraqabah using zikr until it becomes a natural, comfortable habit to be in that state for you. So let's try this for 5 minutes to see how is your emotions going on, where my life is going on. Just be with Allah Jalla Jalalu. You don't have to rush for anything. You don't have to rush to say, list your prayings, whatever you want to say. So just be there, try doing nothing and just be with Allah Jalla Jalalu. If this one done regularly, the muraqabah exercise will have several benefits on your health. So you're gonna have easier, more natural presence in your life, strengthen mental and spiritual muscles, and you are gonna have stress relief and relaxation, better focus and attention, increase empathy and compassion. And where I get this information, which information did I use? It is on the yaqininstitute.ca website. It's an infographics, one of the infographics about mindfulness. If you would like to check, you can look at that. Thank you.